All right, board gaming enthusiasts, I want you guys to crunch the numbers right now. I want you to look at your collection, big or small, all the titles that you play. What is that one board game, and why, that has gotten the most plays in your collection? Looking at the big picture, at all the numbers. Now, a little bit of background to kind of frame it. I do keep track of all the games that I play. I've got a massive Excel spreadsheet that I calculate, I tabulate, I crunch those numbers, and sometimes it's a little bit scary to look at. My Warhammer 40K sheet is even more frightening, and my Battletech sheet is even more frightening. But I've been tracking games, 2008, solo plays versus group plays, just to get an idea of how my tastes have evolved, strategies that I've played, and we see this. Sometimes you fall in love with the title and you have massive, massive bursts of playing it, and then a long period where you don't, and then a resurgence. So it's kind of interesting just to see how I've evolved. And from that perspective, while I'm not an accountant, if I look at the money that I've spent versus the plays and the good time and pulling in friends, it's been a great hobby. It's been a great run. Now, all of the titles that I have, the number one title, Runebound 2nd Edition, and I love 3rd Edition, Runebound 2nd Edition. And the 2nd Edition Runebound for me captured this idea of overland, story, RPG, level up, epic campaign, going against the Dragon Lords, going against Vorakesh the Necromancer. I've got some of the expansions. And this title, it kind of has occupied really 3 interesting places throughout the evolution of my gaming. The first was in 2008 or maybe 2009 when I acquired the title. So it has that longevity. It absolutely does. But in acquiring the title, it was perfect at the time for what I was looking for. I was looking for a compact, which is a little bit surprised considering it was Fantasy Flight Games, game that I could get that RPG experience, that campaign experience, and really play and enjoy the mechanics either solo or with a group. So right away it hit that. And then there was a period in my life about 7 years ago, where I was getting hit 3 ways at once. I had a lot of difference and changes in my schedule, my work schedule. It shifted. I was working longer hours, later hours, which means I couldn't make it to the gaming club as much as I would have liked to. Kind of shut down weekly gaming and moved it towards the weekend. I had some family changes, and then I was also trying to advance myself academically with some education and some schooling. So fitting that all in together, and look, we got to do this board gaming thing. We got to do this wargaming thing. We got to do this RPG, D&D type thing. The only time I could really play was sometimes like 2 or 3 in the morning, just for a little bit of time. And of course, naturally, if I could not play, I was trying to get through my miniature piles and paint that stuff. But sometimes, like, you just want to disconnect and you want to explore that hobby from that perspective. So literally for, I want to say, no joke, on my gaming table for like a year and a half, Runebound was there. Like, seriously, like Runebound was there for me. Runebound saved my sanity in so many ways, to just throw down 3 or 4 characters, have them run around the realm, and not be so much concerned about winning or playing a specific character, but just seeing how the game, how the story, how the game treated each of those characters, and being able to play that and enjoy that. Sometimes it was for an hour, sometimes it was for a good amount of time. Other times it's like, I got to call it a night. Things are late. I'm going to play 1 round of Runebound. So I picked up a tremendous amount of plays. And then, of course, socially with the club and bringing it to play with friends and exploring it that way. And even to this day, while currently if I look at my plays, Dark Souls, we've got Zombicide Invader, doing the gloomy thing, the more newer weight titles, Runebound 3rd Edition, absolutely, love it, fantastic, great. But I still jump back to 2nd for the streamlined mechanics and the history. Because now when I play it, I get to see past adventures. I get to think about past adventures. Not just playing solo, but also playing with some really good friends. And some of those friends I still have the great fortune to play and game with. Some of those friends have literally moved on to other parts of the world. And wherever they are in their journey, I know they're doing well. I know they're doing great things. I know you are doing great things. but I have that memory of playing that game. So that plays into the Runebound today. Okay, so maybe not like totally you're tracking everything. You might not be that guy, like I'm that type of guy, but I think we have an idea of the titles we play, the weights that we play. So combining in solo and or with a group, a play is a play, win or lose. What title in your collection has the most? Why? And you know I'm always looking for a new title. So recommendations like, why has this game occupied such a place in your life? What should I be checking out? Because if you're having that much fun, that much passion, that much enthusiasm for it, then, that's something I want to be a part of. That's something I want to check out and maybe add to the titles in my collection to play.